Tell me, what is the purpose of your visit today?
I need to know how machine builders are using I/O systems.
Why do you come to me?
I visit ControlDesign.com all the time, and you clearly have the pulse of Machine Builder Nation.
An excellent observation. In fact, we have field agents standing by to help you with your questions. Agent B? Agent M? Let's begin.
Well, I like to know if the machine builders are using remote or centralized I/O.
Agent B, I think you can help us with that.
Chief, I'm standing behind the headquarters of Machine Builder Nation, where I've just obtained the final bit of data for the question you asked. We find that I/O systems are primarily centralized, but some do have remote capabilities. In fact, let me upload the data for you right now. 1/4 mentioned that their I/O systems are mostly or entirely centralized or rack-mounted, and another 1/4 mentioned that their I/O are remote or distributed but do have some centralized functions. Just under 14% say that their I/O systems are mostly or entirely remote or distributed. Of course, this brought up another question about where their I/O is located, and almost 90% report their I/O is DIN rail mounted in enclosures. But more than 1/3 each add that their I/O is either IP20 or IP67 machine mounted. Just over 40% also use other installation methods.
Thank you, Agent B. Now let me anticipate your next question. You'd like to know what kinds of signals our system integrators and machine builders are using with their I/O modules. Digital? Analog? Perhaps both?
Yes, exactly.
Very well. Agent M, what can you tell us about that?
Chief, I'm here at a typical production line, and we found that while more than 1/3 of users have signal requirements that are mostly digital with a bit of analog, almost half have a mix of both. Let me show you the details. As you can see, only close to 10% are all digital, and just under 8% are mostly analog with a bit of digital. We also have some additional data that indicates that more than 3/4 use PLCs as their controller technology, while 12% use embedded controllers, 6.5% use PCs, and almost 6% use something else.
Thank you, Agent M. Very helpful. Your next question?
Do the users bundle their I/O with the controller, or is it a separate purchase? And how much are they spending on this I/O each year?
I suspect Agent B can be helpful in that endeavor. Agent B?
Chief, I've gone to great lengths to acquire this data, and I think my intelligence gathering has really reached new heights. Close to half of all machine builders specify and buy their I/O with controllers. Let me upload the specifics for you right now. Less than 20% purchase I/O independent of controller brand, and more than 1/3 buy a mix of both. In addition, 1/3 say they spend $100,000 or more on their I/O each year, while just over 22% report spending $50,000 up to as much as $100,000 annually. Close to 1/5 each spend $10,000 to $25,000 or spend $10,000 or less. One word of caution, the Kung Pao chicken. Very spicy.
Excellent work, Agent B. Another question.
What information do you have on how users are connecting the I/O?
Very good question. And Agent M is just the man to answer that for you.
Whoa, I'm really small. Chief, I think I may have taken the Weight Watchers thing a bit too far. But it did let me fit inside this cabinet. Anyway, let's take a look at the data. Interestingly, more than 83% of users report that they use hardwiring, but more than 2/3 each also say they're using an Ethernet flavor or 4 to 20 milliamp for communications. Also, more than half say they use device-level digital networks, while more than 44% use serial communications, more than 1/3 use field bus, and more than 22% are using wireless. Impressive.
Excellent, Agent M. Thank you. Another question.
Yes. I'd like to know What are the important characteristics they consider when deciding what company to buy their I/O product from?
Indeed, very important. Agent B, I think you're the best person to answer that question for us.
Chief, I'm standing on the surface of Mars where I've been told to beware of the dust devils. So I'll make this transmission as short and quick as possible. To answer your question, reliability is the main answer. More than 90% of Machine Builder Nation expect that reliability is of their primary concern. Let me upload the data for you via the Mars satellite. One moment. More than 2/3 say compatibility with existing systems is always important, and more than half add that ease of setup and installation is always important. Meanwhile, close to half add that scalability, diagnostic features, and auto configuration, auto addressing are usually important too. More than 1/3 remarkably added that hot swap is sometimes important as well. In addition, more than 1/4 report that price, application assistance, availability or delivery, and prior experience with the supplier were the important non-product criteria in their selections. Finally, more than 1/3 of Machine Builder Nation added that product brand was the least important to them. Just for the record, I'm going to be expensing this under transportation. Does that sound right, Chief? In the meantime, I got to watch out for the dust devils. Whoa!
Excellent. Thank you, agents. That will be all for now. Now, in case you were wondering, our data gathering involved nearly 150 respondents to our field agents' inquiries in February of 2008. And they represented nearly every major market segment in Machine Builder Nation. In fact, nearly 2/3 of them indicated they have control system design responsibilities. Afraid that's all the information I can share with you today, but we'll be gathering additional intelligence on other product categories in the near future. So I strongly suggest you maintain contact with us via controldesign.com.
This has been very helpful.
Good day to you.